Hyundai have just slashed the price of the Ioniq 6. I mean, this is a fairly new electric car. It's got very impressive technology. I had a look at one in person. They look weird, but they're also pretty cool. But the price has been reduced by a drastic amount. I'm pretty shocked at this. If you want a good deal, now could be the time. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. I reported about a month or two ago on Hyundai reducing the price of the Ioniq 6 in North America significantly. I mean, I'm talking big discounts. So if this is a car that you've been looking at, then probably now's the time to buy it. But not just in North America, because all of a sudden, Hyundai have done the same thing, surprisingly, in Australia. For a while, you couldn't get one of these cars. They were too hard to find here in Australia. You had to kind of try to jump on the website at the precise time of day when they allocated some orders and just hope that the website didn't freeze on you and you were one lucky few customers. That's all changed now. There's actual dealership stock, and they have slashed the prices by up to $12,000, which is unbelievable. Anyway, the Ioniq 6 will receive a $5,000 minimum and up to $12,000 discount. So that's in addition to $1,500 to $2,500 in a discount to the regular price, meaning that, superseded models, which is what the discounts are for, are incredibly cheap and absolutely worthwhile. I don't think the new model is really that much different. In fact, it's very similar. So it's a really good option if you're considering buying one of these cars. Now, they're not that practical. They have a very small boot, but hey, I mean, there's space for 5 people. They're very efficient. One of the most efficient EVs you can buy on the face of the planet. But they still aren't exactly cheap. And I think the timing here in Australia, New Zealand, other places that are right-hand drive, interesting timing because it coincides with a couple of things happening. That is the Tesla Model 3 Highland going on sale and the BYD Seal going on sale as well. The competition in the medium electric sedan market is just so fierce right now. It's really quite a scenario here where you can get an amazing deal. Recommended retail prices for model year 2023 across the range have been reduced by $1,500 to $2,500 plus. There's some big discounts on offer. This is ahead of the fact that the new model, the 2024 model, is about to launch, and dealerships have a lot of cars in stock. So you might even be able to actually negotiate a slightly lower price, even beneath these huge discounts. So what this means is the price for the variants, all variants, is reduced by $5,300 to $10,500 plus the additional $1,500, so up to $12,000. That's crazy. That's 18%. Hyundai Australia says that there are approximately 600 or so. I'm going to guess if they're saying 600, it's probably 1,000. My 23 Ioniq 6s in dealers nationwide, which equates to 9 months worth of stock at the current rate of 65 to 75 deliveries per month. That means that don't go to a dealership and feel pressured to buy at these prices, even though they're really cheap. You might even be able to negotiate an even lower price. So really, people have been saying Model 3 Highland or BYD Seal, but now all of a sudden, you've got another option here. You've got 3 good cars here to really seriously consider at prices that I think are really, really competitive. So this price cut and hefty discounts, not just putting this vehicle up against those cars, it's also you've got the Polestar 2, the new Polestar 2, plus of course you've got Volvo's kind of EV entrant, which is also a really good option. Now, one of the key reasons why the prices are so cheap is because it has not been selling, period. I mean, look at the sales numbers here, right? Here in Australia, from February 2023 all the way to October, so we're talking 8 months, only 468 were sold over 8 months of a brand new car. It just isn't selling. I think for a lot of people, the looks are just too polarizing, and it's not a very practical car in the sense of, like I said, the boot size is quite small. But, I mean, still, a lot of people don't need a practical car. And I think for what it is, it's actually really good. Anyhow, the prices, what actually are they? What are the models? The cheapest version is actually not that much cheaper. It's called the Dynamic, and it is $71,500 plus on-road costs Personally, I absolutely would not even for a second consider that over the Tesla Model 3 Highland. I mean, it's what, $10,000 more expensive? It's just not better. I mean, it isn't. Sorry, but that's just reality. Now, the equation changes when you look at the higher spec models. The Ioniq 6 Technique all-wheel drive is actually $2,200 cheaper than a Tesla Model 3 long-range all-wheel drive at $73,700. So would you get the Ioniq 6 Technique or the Tesla Model 3 long-range? Now, this is the car that's actually had its price reduced by $12,000. So it's the same price as the rear-wheel drive version. It's strange that they're the same price because clearly the Ioniq 6 Technique all-wheel drive is a significantly better car than the standard dynamics. I don't really understand why they're doing this, but it is the case. All three models, right? All three models of the Ioniq 6 have the same battery pack. It's a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery pack, NCM nickel cobalt manganese battery pack. And of course, the all-wheel drive version has less range than the cheaper rear-wheel drive only version. So the entry-level model Dynamic is powered by a rear-mounted electric motor, which has 168 kilowatt, about 230 horsepower, and 350 newton meters of torque. That'll give you a 0 to 100 time of 7.4 seconds. And 614 kilometers of range. That's a lot of range. It's more than any BYD Seal model that you can get. But it's about similar to a Tesla Model 3 long range. However, if you want to get the more, the same price all-wheel drive version, which had its price discounted by $12,000, you do get all-wheel drive. You get 239 kilowatt and 605 newton meters of torque. So a lot less power than the Tesla Model 3 long range. But the performance is better than the cheaper Dynamic. So 5.1 seconds, 0 to 62 miles an hour, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. But range gets a big drop. It's 519 kilometers of range, meaning got about 100 kilometers less range than the Tesla Model 3 Highland long range. A lot less power, a lot less range. So then really the question is, would you want to buy this instead of the Model 3 Highland long range when it doesn't seem to be better? It does have one thing that's better than the Tesla though. It's got faster charging. Theoretically, you can charge it up to 350 kilowatts on the right charger if you can find the right charger that can charge at that speed. Speaking of charging, Hyundai says it will charge from 10 to 80% in as little as 18 minutes on a 350 kilowatt fast, ultra fast DC charger. What about the size? It's 4,855 millimeters long, 1,880 millimeters wide, and 1,495 millimeters tall. So, I mean, it's actually longer than a Model 3, but because of the fact that it's so low to the ground in terms of the roof, it's actually not got that big of an interior. Standard features in the Ioniq 6 base model. So the $71,500 Australian model are 18-inch alloy wheels, dual 12.3-inch screens. That's an advantage. You have the extra screen in front of the driver in this versus a Tesla. Heated power adjustable front seats, adaptive LED headlights, Bose premium stereo, leather appointed seats. That's also an advantage. You get leather. Heads-up display. That's something you don't get in the Tesla. And a full suite of advanced safety technology. So there's a few things here you're getting in the interior that you're not getting in a Tesla. Of course, that additional screen for the driver, plus you're getting the leather seats and a heads-up display. The Technique model, the all-wheel drive model, which has had the price discounted by $12,000, adds the dual motor all-wheel drive, 20-inch alloy wheels, performance tires, front relaxation seats, whatever that means, front seat ventilation, a heated steering wheel, heated rear seats, a sunroof, and a small under bonnet storage area. So you get a small frunk. Now, in terms of the Epic model, that's the most expensive model you can get. That used to cost $88,000, but it's now had its price significantly reduced. It now costs $82,000. So you're looking at $10,500 more for the Epic all-wheel drive versus the Technique all-wheel drive. What are you going to get for your extra $10,500? Okay, you get camera-based digital side mirrors. They've had a bit of negative feedback on those, but anyway, you get a heat pump, which repurposes waste battery heat to warm the cabin. You get a battery conditioning system. used in cold climates to prepare the battery for fast charging and to optimize charging speed. Now, before I go on, I think the heat pump should be standard for all models, so I'm surprised that it's not. The Hyundai Ioniq 6 comes with the company's BlueLink suite of connected car features, including an SOS function, remote cabin heating, valet mode, and calendar integration, and debuts over-the-air updates for Hyundai in Australia. So really, that extra $10,000, it's $10,500 in fact, is only getting you digital camera side mirrors, a heat pump, and a battery conditioning system. Two of those things you get in the base Tesla Model 3 in the Tesla Model 3 Highland long range. You get the heat pump and you get the battery conditioning system. You just don't get digital-based camera side mirrors. Obviously, there mustn't be many Epic models available because it's really a really bad deal. I just wouldn't even consider that for a minute. The only real option here, out of these three cars, in my opinion, that you should consider buying would be the Ioniq 6 Technique all-wheel drive. The mid-spec model, the all-wheel drive model, $71,500. But then the question is, well, BYD Seal, the premium model, is it better? The Tesla Model 3 Highland, long range, that's probably better. To be honest, I probably still wouldn't buy one of these personally. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for watching.